Hey everybody out there on the internets, welcome back to another edition of Give It a Shot, the Mystery Box. If you've been watching for any length of time, you know what I do here. I take 5 DVDs that I've never seen, I throw them into my magical box here, shake it up, pull something out, and I watch it. I say some things and then we go home. Or whatever it is you do afterwards. I do this in my home, so I do this all the time, I guess. Anyway, let's look at today's possibilities. First, returning, for lack of a better term, favorite, Bruce Berry's Bug Rangers Harry Situation. One day it'll be picked. I'm probably not going to pick it today either. Next, we have Meet the Sky Dancers. The Sky's the Limit and Getting the Story. Toy tie-in DVD. I still never get tired of the fact that this Sky Dancer on the cover looks like she's desperately hoping that you will like her. Next, we have Character Builders in Thankfulness and Gentleness. Your guess is as good as mine. Then we have Colossal Tales, a lesson in honesty and being yourself. Carlos Caterpillar, because the price tag from McKay's is blocking it, so I don't really know who this is, but it's Colossal Tales. And then finally, we have the new addition to the box. This is called Wisharoo Park. I only know one thing about this. The cover is animated, and the background has nothing but pictures of puppets. So, why do I get the feeling that this here is done because it looks way better and less creepy than the puppets? Hopefully today I don't find out. But, time to do the magic box dance and figure out what I got. Really wanted that. And I've got Character Builders, Thankfulness and Gentleness. Okay, yay. I guess I should be thankful that I got this one, but I probably will never be gentle. See what I mean? Let's give this a watch. Hello and holy shit. That was an experience. This is already telling about where we're about to go. Oh! Oh! Okay. Okay. Oh! Whew. That should just take the edge off. So, this thing is called Character Builders. And I'm going to do my best to tell you the stories before I get into the other things. But I will say this before I get into that. If Dingo Pictures had the ability to do CG, this might be it. Now, Trollland is Asylum. I'm not expecting greatness out of that. But this is straight up. If Dingo Pictures found Jesus and then promptly started doing computer-generated storybooks. That's what this is. So, I'm sure you're all wondering with bated breath, Sam, what's character builders like? Well, let me tell you. Okay, so this is the story of two characters named Stevie and Nancy. I can't believe I got that right, I think, because I was like Stan and Jace from Jace, whoever from like the Wonder Twins. Like that's where my brain is going right now. Like this, like my brain was trying to escape this whole time. I'm watching this. Thank you, Gas, because this, there's no substance here. There is little substance here. So it's divided into two stories. I mean, I already was concerned because the video length, the DVD itself is 23 minutes long. And I kind of had an inkling of what this was going to be because when you have thankfulness and gentleness at the bottom, okay, I'm kind of getting it. And then if you look down here at the producers, it's Alpha Omega Publications. So if you know a little bit about the Bible, you know what this is going to be. And if that wasn't enough, these characters live in agape land. So all of these characters live in a place called Love Land, because agape is a Greek translation of the word love, a very specific kind of love, which is brotherly love. And so this is where all of this stuff takes place, almost, because it's a weird mix of like moral oral, like Davy and Goliath and Winnie the Pooh, because all the creatures live in agape land or the 100-acre wood. So first episode is about thankfulness, and so apparently it's the first day of spring. And the characters are all excited because the bear, whatever his dumb name is.
Oh, today's the day Benny Bear wakes up.
I honestly cannot tell you the name of the animals at this point. They all forgot, except one. And it's the dog, because it's the dumb. Why would you name a dog Smuggles?
Smuggles brought his gift.
Snuggles, I'd be okay with. Smuggles? Not touching it. But anywho, the bear is ready to get up out of his hibernation, and everyone's excited, and they're like, we'll give them gifts.
Nancy's eyes sparkled with excitement. Let's give him a special surprise when he wakes up.
We'll give the bear gifts, because, yeah, that's what you do. Hey, congratulations from waking up from your winter coma. Let's shower you with gifts. That's an accomplishment. I get up every morning. Nobody gives me shit. My wife just gives me the stink eye like, oh God, you're up this early again? No. I get... why? Why him? Why he's so special? But, anywho, they're like, we're going to give this dumb bear some gifts for waking up. Congratulations. Now, there's the family, like they're supposed to buzz, but whatever.
He's been sleeping all winter long, said Poppins.
They're called the family. They give him honey baked or honey cookies or something like that, and he's like, oh, these aren't sweet enough.
Yuck, he said, taking a little bite. These aren't sweet enough for me.
And then the rabbit comes in with a 14-karat necklace, because this was the closest thing to a joke this thing had. And Bear's like, no, I would look stupid with this.
Benny yawned again. Oh, I would never wear this, he said. A necklace would look silly on a bear.
Which, by the by, later on, that necklace looks a lot like hot chili peppers. I still think the bunny was trying to get one over on the bear. Like, oh, you want to be an asshole to my bee friends? Here, I'll give you a burning ass, you dick. Then, Smuggles. offers him his trombone because, yeah, that's...
Benny, I want to give you my most special bone, he said. It's my trombone.
I'm not a musician, but I'm pretty sure musical instruments are kind of expensive, so why are you giving the bear, who probably has no musical inclination, your trombone? But be that as it may, they're not, he's not impressed. Well, this was leading up to what was supposed to be the final surprise, which was the "Hey, congratulations on waking up" song, which is the majority of this part of the cartoon, because this is a 23-minute video, but it's cut up into two parts. They're both roughly 10-minute videos on each subject, and so they had this song, and they sing the song, and it's just a musical montage of recycled assets, and this is where the dingo part comes in, because it's nothing but reused assets over and over and over and over. I mean, ad nauseum. Like, they had little to work with here, and they just did not... They just made it go... They just worked with what they had. And you got this as a result. And the bear... The bear learns about being thankful because I guess he hears them practicing. Like, they practiced a couple times. The first practice, everything went well. Then after the gifts didn't go over, now he sound kind of like garbage. So he's like, well, what's this sound? It sounds like garbage. Goes out and learns that they're all bummed out that he didn't like their gifts. And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm just a grump when I get up.
I'm so grumpy when I just wake up. Would you forgive me for being unthankful?
Which, yeah, I mean, if I've been asleep for 3 months and I'd probably not be the best person. And so they all forgive him. And then they have a great time at his house, which you never see, because you only see the outside of the house, because it costs extra to animate fun. And then they have a song, like a 2-minute song about thank you.
Forget to say thank you. Be thankful for the mockingbird that's singing you a song.
And that's all the song says is thank you. For 2 minutes. Out of a 10-minute animated short. So that's one. That's one. Two, now we're talking about gentleness. This is weird. Because now I start to see some things where the budget either just wasn't there or it got cut at some point, because there are some flaws. There are a number of flaws that really are exposed in this one. So our two children have a new friend, and they invite her to play. She's really quiet, and the two main children play, and they're making a lot of noise, but the other one is, the little girl is really quiet, and she's shy, and they did something to scare her, and she runs away.
And said, "Boo!" Nancy started to laugh, but to her surprise, Kim started crying and ran out the door.
The kid's mother hears this and says, "Sit down, let me tell you a story." Because why actually do anything that addresses the problem right now? Let's have a parable of some sort. Tells them a story about a little girl who wanted a little brother or sister, and was always pining away for one, and then gets it, and she's all happy that she has one, because apparently her bulbous mother and uncharismatic Ted Turner father finally got the gumption enough to lay on top of each other and produce a child again. So she's all excited that she has this child, a sibling now, but, common things, like, why does this baby get all the attention? I want to have fun with this baby, but the kid doesn't know how to have fun yet because it's a damn baby. But then the best part of the entire video happens here. She's holding the baby, and I'm like, this can't be good. This cannot be good. And to no shock and awe to me, the kid gets bored holding the kid, the baby, the kid holding the kid. That your descriptive powers are awesome right now, because this is what it's doing to me. And she starts jumping on the couch while holding the baby. Holy God, this is wild. And she drops the kid, but they don't show that.
All of a sudden, on one hard bounce, she dropped the baby. The baby started to cry.
They will not show, baby dropping, because you're already giving the kid whiplash or a broken neck with the way this kid's bouncing on the chair. Which, by the way, the mother giving the daughter the responsibility of holding the child while she did something in the kitchen? No, absolutely not. But I'm not a parent. Can't tell you how to raise your kids, whether they're real or not. Wouldn't have done it, but there you go. Thankfully, the child wasn't hurt.
Happily, the baby sister was not hurt, but the little girl's parents decided to have a talk with her.
Probably brain damaged, but it's not hurt. So, the parents have a discussion with the child and explain to her the concept of being gentle. And then we get a whole song about being gentle.
Gentleness is holding rainbows in your hand.
And how certain things are, you treat like fine china because they can easily break. They are frail. And, some people that are like that. So you get a whole song about that. And then we go back to the present time, best way to describe it. And the children are like, well, who was the girl? And they're like, and the mother's like, well, it's someone you really know. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Because it's me. All right. Now here's where it gets, holy God. It's like, all right, the budget was definitely in running out, because uncharismatic Ted Turner was one thing, but the mother of these two children, oh man, it just does not look good. It's... So what I'm about to do now is recreate what their father did the night of their honeymoon with this woman. Oh, sweet Jesus, give me strength. Oh! Oh! Ooh! Yeah! Ah! And thus begat these two children. But, yeah, the character model for the mother leaves a little to be desired. And, it's just, whew, it's a thing to take in. So they have this lesson. But here's the kicker of all this. They don't go back and address this young girl again, the one that they scared away.
I'm trying to think of Nancy being a mother someday. Oh, you silly! Nancy started to chase Stevie. Together they ran laughing out of the house.
Like, hey, we're sorry for scaring you, or hey, please come and play, we'll be nicer. No, just like, fuck that kid. Like, honest to fuckness, this was... I pretty much just gave you everything. So, it's a 23-minute DVD. 2 roughly 10-minute shorts. Most of it singing and musical musical montages, so it's a lot like Dingo, or better yet, a lot like Golden Films, where, you know, you have your musical interludes and then the recycling of animation because they don't have enough assets to work with or a budget, so you're going to be fucking cheap as always. Add on to that a style of animation that in 1997 would have been exceptional. Fast forward that 10 years. This is out in 2007, when this sort of thing should be somewhat corrected. But no, it's not. The animation here, it's horrible in a way that is reminiscent of that time where characters don't look where they're supposed to be looking. You recognize them as cartoon characters. They're smoothed out. They, you know, there's no jagged edges or like polygonal like Mario 64 or anything like that. But they're lifeless husks. There's no soul to these things. They just bounce around and exist. Kind of like if you've ever seen the Incredible Bulk or the Amazing Bulk. How that creature kind of moves in its in-betweens to keyframes, and like there's no in-between, so the keyframe kind of goes and it does. That's what's going on with this. And the characters just sort of just operate on keyframes, and there's really no in-betweens, and so it's just jarring and wrong. And to top it off, and this is where the real Dingo comparison comes in, it's like their early video storybooks where there's one person doing all the voices, and that's what I'm getting here.
He's awake now, reported Poppins. We saw his window open as we flew by.
There's an old man who voices everything, and it shouldn't have been voiced by him alone. There should have been other voices. There should have been something for... Because when he reads certain things, like when he talks about the bee family, it just does... It comes across like, what kind of context is this?
You've been sleeping all winter long, said Poppins.
And so, like, the whole thing is obviously some sort of budget title or production for 3 to 5 year olds is what I'm suspecting for this, because it just, like, obviously this is for Sunday school, these short little 10-minute things in here, but they really should not have. God, it's just not good. But apparently there's more. There's 8. So I have thankfulness and gentleness. Here's some of the others: obedience and self-control, honesty and responsibility, confidence and love, politeness and joy, patience and peace. I'm sure they're all riveting pieces of media, but you can tell where the budget is stuck on some of these things. Like the main characters, yeah, you can tell, but like the mother, still, that she's gonna be in my nightmares. She did not age. She did not mature into her body as she should have. It's I have to take it with a grain of salt. This obviously is for very small children, but it is. It definitely needs some work with the kids. Oh. Oh. And now all I have is the thank you song in my head. So, it's memorable in the fact that it is so... It's just reusing its assets so much but they know they can get away with it because it is, made for small children, and they just know moving shapes and colors and flashes of stuff will keep them attentive. But by Job, they could have done a whole lot better. But I will say this, it's not like a couple of these that I reviewed that it's not as rough. Like, I'll talk a little bit about how the sausage is made right now. So I go to like thrift store places and whatnot to pick up these DVDs, right? And shock and awe, whenever I look through the kids section, the biggest chunk that I find in all of them is a whole bunch of discarded Christian media for children. I've known that growing up forever. Growing up, that like CBN or Cornerstone Television had like some of the worst stuff for children. Low production quality. I always laughed my head off when I looked at it because it just wasn't very good. And I see the tradition continues. Although I've totally defended old school Superbook. New school Superbook was okay. But on the scale of all of that I've ever watched, right? I've talked about some of this stuff at length. But this is one that isn't like pounding you on the head. It's not like Gigi. Gigi has she has a psychosis. And it's God, Jesus. Which, if that's what you're working for with your children, that's fine. But, like, that's a certain kind of psychosis. This was like, it doesn't beat you in the head with what it's trying to do. It's giving you, very simple messages, which again, these are for, 3 to 5 year olds, about being nice, being thankful, and being gentle with things. No, it's not telling you because Jesus said so or whatnot. It's a little bit more of a wider net. And so it doesn't have the same issues that I've had with, other types of Christian media. It's okay in that respect. But by God, just the way it's animated and the way everything's handled, not so much. And it got 3 out of me, just because of the way the characters look, especially the mother. I mean, the stories are quick and they're relatively painless, but by Jove, it's just a lot to take in when you're staring at these things. And then I think the second one, the story of the gentleness, they go into their first song 4 minutes in, and then the whole thing after that is just music. And then the third song, because I think there's 3 in it, is basically if the series had like a theme song, that's what they were playing. And so the grand scheme of things, like Alpha Omega bought a base package of CG characters, and somebody who was good with computers made a base set of assets, and then that's just what they worked with and had. And so that's what you got here. And so it comes across as like Dingo in that way, because it's just reusing assets over and over, and they don't show anything dynamic. I was surprised they showed the girl bouncing on the chair with the baby, because that's kind of graphic. But in the long run, it's a bit of a slog. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in terms of Christian media. 3 out of 4, not too shabby. So until next time, kiddos, toodles.